The focus of this video is on the MROUND function. M stands for multiple, so it's working with whole numbers here. Now, to understand the importance of the MROUND function, it's good to provide a bit of context. So you may have used some of these rounding functions before. There's round, round up, and round down. But each of these three rounding functions works with decimal places, as in rounding to a certain number of decimal places. So here's some sample numbers. And if I give you an example of each of these, if we say take this first number and round it to 2 decimal places, it'll go up or down depending on what's closest to produce that result. But what round up and round down do is to go up or down in a specific direction to where you want to get to. So if you want to round up to the nearest whole number, you can use a round up function for that. And again, you provide the value and say 0 decimal places. Same for round down. Now there's 2 D's in that, be careful. And you provide the number and say 0 again for 0 decimal places as in a whole number. So you can see the difference here between 2 and 1, 81 and 80. Okay, one's gone up, one's gone down. But the limitations are you can only ever go to the closest whole number. But where you have a situation where you want to go to the nearest 50, this is where the MROUND function comes in. So being a multiple, you can work with whole numbers other than 1. So you say MROUND, open the brackets, provide your value, and say 50 as the multiple. And when you press enter, it'll go up or down to whatever the closest 50 is from that number. Okay, so from 1.23 it goes down to 0, but for 80.99 it goes up to 100. And so on. For all these other numbers, you'll see they're all multiples of 50. But again, in the same fashion as round has its limitations, it goes up or down, but round up or round down are specific. In order to go up or down to the closest 50, you can't rely on MROUND. It's good as far as it goes, and it's an improvement on the standard rounding functions, but it itself has limitations. To get around that, you actually use what's called the ceiling function or the floor function. Ceiling goes up, floor goes down to the nearest multiple. Now the multiple here can actually be a decimal or a whole number, makes no difference, it works the same. So if you want to go up to the nearest 50, you say equals ceiling, choose your number and say 50. And notice the difference here. MROUND went down to 0, ceiling goes up to 50. In the same fashion, we could use floor to say, here's my number, go down to the nearest 50 every time. So now that's gone down to 0, but the 80.99 has actually gone down to 50, because that's the closest 50 beneath that number. So I hope that's useful. Get your hands dirty and give it a go.